me and Amy do not go way back. It's a relatively new friendship that has kindled. She blessed us with her presence at Oak Park. How long ago was it? Has it been now?
October of 24.
October 24. Y'all can do that math. So 9 years now. I don't know. A
9 and a
year-ish
half.
ago. Okay. A year-ish ago.
Yeah.
She started coming and we just hit it off. And one day, really what has enhanced our friendship, really like honed in on it, is so a few months ago, maybe 6 or so months ago, I was texting her about Prince, the singer. Gosh. She had never heard the song Raspberry Beret.
That's not a real song.
It is a real song. And I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but she not only grew up, but is currently in a very musical family. But she didn't know what Raspberry Beret was, and I don't think she really knew much about Prince either, right?
I knew that he
It's crazy to me,
wore
okay?
high platforms and wore velvet, and
Anyhow.
he sung Purple Rain. That's about all I knew about Prince.
Just can't even believe that. So I was texting another one of my friends, and I was like, Amy doesn't know what Raspberry Beret is. Can you believe that? And she was like, yeah, I have no idea. I'm like, what? Y'all don't know that song? Anyways. And then my other friend started texting me about, it's going to be near about impossible to go this entire podcast without saying her name, so I'm going to. Her name's Alicia. I was texting Alicia Payne. Holla at you, girl. I was texting her about Ghost. She was asking me something about Ghost. And I was like, my mind was like, I don't know how to continue on this conversation with one person about Raspberry Beret and the other one about Ghost. So I put them in a group chat, and I was like, I need y'all to handle each other for me, because I no longer can do this. And said, there's lots of questions about Ghost and Prince, and if you two could just work it out amongst yourselves, I'm making you friends now. And then after that, we had an incident in our bathhouse, because I haven't given an update in a long time, but I live in a camper still. And I was in the bathhouse one day, and we had this incident in the bathhouse.
Not we. Her.
I had an incident in the bathhouse. Well, Alicia asked me one time, what's my biggest fear? And she literally, I walk into her camper, because she lived in a camper for a little while. I walk into her camper, she immediately looks at me and says, what's your biggest fear? And I was like, stabbers. And she was like, stabbers. What? That is a spirit of fear, Kaylin. You do not need to be afraid of stabbers. I'm like, you asked me what my biggest fear is, and I told you. And you were like, she said, I thought you were going to talk about like heights or something, like you were afraid of. And I was like, no, I'm not afraid of heights. I'm afraid of people. I'm afraid of stabbers. I'm afraid somebody's going to come at me with a knife one day. And she was like, well, what do you do in the bathhouse? And I was like, I carry my cast iron skillet with me. I was like, I do. When I go to the bathhouse, I got my bath bag. It's actually a bath laundry hamper now. And I put my towel in it. And I put my cast iron skillet in there. And I prop it between the, like, bench and the shower. That way somebody comes in, I can just whack them. Or an alligator. Anyways. And so she was asking me about stabbers. And one day somebody came into the shower with me. Not with me. Back up. I was taking a shower. If you can't see me, I'm sorry, but you're going to need a visual. So just imagine this. In the shower, there are 3 showers, and I was in the one furthest to the wall. And I was taking a shower, and someone comes in, which nobody ever comes into the shower. I'm pretty much in the bathhouse by myself all the time. So all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, how scary. Well, they get in the shower next to me, And I'm thinking, who does that? Not what now was I was not being quiet. I was singing. I I know that God will provide and all this stuff. Like I was being extra loud because somebody came in. And I started singing this song and I was just jamming and they get in the shower next to me and I'm like, oh, this is so bad. Like there's somebody in here and this is so strange. And then I'm know they're there. And they never run the water. They just sit. And I'm like, so in a panic, I'm like, what do I do? Because there's like this person just sitting next to me in the bathroom and not moving. And so I text my friend group. I'm like, there's a stabber in here with me. I know that there's a stabber. And so I'm standing there with my cast iron skillet like, do I run? Because I was trying to wait them out, thinking I'm gonna let them go. When I hear their water, like I was waiting on them to cut the water on because I knew their hand was be on the faucet. So as soon as their hand hit the faucet, I was gonna make a mad dash out of there, but that never happened. So I just stood. Well, eventually I left and I waited on this person, thinking. I FaceTime them. I come out, I sit on my porch, and I'm FaceTiming Amy and Alicia now, and I'm like, you won't believe what happened to me. Like, you asked me yesterday what my biggest fear is, and there's a stabber in there because they just sat in the bathroom, and they didn't run water, and they're just in there. They're just in there in the shower next to me when they had other options. They got in the shower right next to me. They're sitting in silence, and they're not doing anything at all. And so I go, and I'm like, we got to see what this person looks like. I'm not even joking. We were on the phone, 35 minutes?
Yes, and we stared at a door.
And nobody came out.
With
They
bad
started
cell
going.
phone reception.
They started going, nobody's in there. Are you sure somebody's in there? Are you sure not going
it was
crazy?
probably a mother who wanted to get away from her children.
So I'm like, yes, look, I'm going in there right now. So I go in there. And so my camper is probably, I don't know, 50 feet from the bathhouse. So I start walking to the bathhouse, and somewhere in the middle of walking to the bathhouse, my phone disconnects from Wi-Fi and trying to connect to service. And so I walk in the bathhouse, and they hear me say, oh, hey, I'll go. And she was like, no, you can stay. I'm leaving. And I turn around and I ditch this girl. And I can still hear them talking. They're like, Kaylin, blah, 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 blah. They couldn't see me. They never saw her. And I'm literally walking behind this girl like, look, there she is. You see her? And this girl's just trying to run back to her camper because I'm the stabber at this point. I've scared this girl to death. And I'm like, you've got to see this girl. She ain't, bless her heart, anyhow. And that's how our friendship took off.
Yeah.